I think it's safe to say after the Wii U, Nintendo were kind of in a tough spot because the Wii U, as we all know these days, didn't sell that well, and Nintendo kind of had to call that generation quits a bit quite quickly because it was around 2012 to around 2017, and yeah, if you really think about it, that's quite the sort of normal lifespan of a console, but it didn't sell that well. I think it was about 13 million units by the end of it, which sounds a lot, but honestly, in terms of a lifespan of a games console, it wasn't great. But the Wii U had sort of like as I would say, the sort of beta stage of their next console, and that next console is the Nintendo Switch. Released all the way back in 2017, Nintendo Switch was a console I think a lot of people were quite skeptical because after the Wii U, people were like, oh god, they've released another underpowered console. But honestly, I don't think people were quite ready for the success that the Switch was going to be. I mean, for one, they had decent third-party support from the start. They had games like Doom, they had even Skyrim, and I know that's quite laughable to say because Skyrim's been released on everything from the Alexa speaker to a smart fridge. But it was a big deal to have these big third-party games on a Nintendo console again, because you have to bear in mind that, I'd say, since the N64, Nintendo have struggled to have decent third-party support, and to be honest, ever since the N64, even up to the GameCube, sorry I had to put that down, they've just struggled to gain a foothold into the mainstream industry. I mean, the GameCube technically on paper was quite powerful, but they decided to use mini discs instead of full-blown DVDs, whereas the Wii kind of just stuck to being the same power as a GameCube. But that was kind of like a flash in the pan for Nintendo's success, because that was an extremely successful console. And they tried to replicate that with the Wii U, the same name, kind of what they're doing with the Switch too, which I'm not being funny. It's successful, but it's not a console I want to get desperately anytime soon, sorry. The Switch kind of felt like a good happy medium. It was good for young adults who were traveling about. Was it powerful, or is it powerful? No, it's not. But they knew the constraints, most of these developers that worked on the Switch, and we've had some pretty good games on it. I mean, some of the games I've got on my Switch right here, right now in the background, you'd think like, oh, they can't possibly look that good, but they do. Resident Evil 4 looks great, by the way, but I'll talk about the games in a minute. Yeah, the Switch. I didn't get one until 2021, until I got Switch Lite, when I did I think it was a promotion with a small company back in Bristol, and it was great. I fell in love with it immediately, and now I use a normal Switch, which my partner gave me. I'll get into the Switch models in a minute because we've got 3 of them in this place, and yeah, the Nintendo Switch, it's just a wonderful console. It got me back into portable gaming as we know it today, like with my PSP, which I talked about in a previous video. Just portable gaming in general, which I haven't been in love with since I was a kid, with the Game Boy Advance, the Nintendo DS, the PSP when it originally came out, because I always just feel like, I don't know, with portable gaming, I just didn't really have time for it, but I absolutely love it nonetheless, and it's fantastic. And let's go over some stuff about the Switch One, and I'll go over the hardware, recommend some games, that sort of thing. So let's get into it, shall we? Like with a lot of these videos I do about consoles and stuff, I'm going to go over the hardware now. This time though, I have all the variants, so I can talk about each variant in detail, because with the Switch there's only 3 to talk about really before we even think about like going down like special edition, collector's edition, which I'm not going to go down anyway. But let's start with the 2017 model, the original Switch that came out. If you've noticed, I've got different Joy-Cons on these because these were sent to me a few months ago through Instagram. These are third-party ones. I am sponsored by this company, but this is not really what I do on YouTube, is do like sponsored things. I will put an affiliate link down below for the product too if you're interested, but I'm not going to like go, you need to buy this now. It's not really the point of this video. The reason why I got these is because the original Switch Joy-Cons, these are the original ones for my Switch original. They're pretty temperamental, and the shoulder button on this one, this shoulder button here, started to go. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't, and quite often these Joy-Cons, when playing, they would just randomly disconnect for no reason, where I'd have to reset the controllers and that sort of thing. Whereas these ones, no problem with them at all. I've had these since, I want to say, July, August. These are great because they have Hall effect sticks, which negate the problem of stick drift. I'm not saying it's going to get rid of it entirely. I've yet to see if there's any problems with it yet, but so far these have been great. But anyway, this is my at-home Switch. The problem with this Switch is the battery power, the battery life is awful. I can play it on full charge, no problem at home, until I get down to like 40% in like an hour or two, and then I have to plug it into the wall. Most of the time I've got this plugged into the wall if I'm playing it portably in bed, that sort of thing. But I have this at home purely so I can play certain games on the television, which I'm pointing that way because the TV's in front of me where I'm filming. Yeah, and it's just great to have this on the big screen, because my introduction to the Switch wasn't this model. I'll show you right now. My introduction to the Switch was the Switch Lite, which they released a few years after the original Switch. Basically, it's a smaller model. It's only portable. You can't put it on the television. There's no docked mode. It's just purely portable. And honestly, they could have called it something else, to be honest, because the whole premise of the Switch is that you switch it from portable to television and you can take the controllers out. But this is just a purely portable device. Anyway, I got this through working with a local company when I was still living in Bristol. And they were like a PC repair shop. They contacted me on Instagram saying, would you like to promote our shop through our refurb program? Because they refurbished Switch Joy-Cons and just like parts for Nintendo Switches in general. Because they were going to give me a refurbished model of this originally. But the refurbished model that they had of this Switch Lite, it wasn't very good. So they just said, here's a brand new one, just talk about our refurbs and all that sort of things about Joy-Cons. And they said in the future they'll give me a discount of like refurbing Joy-Cons, that sort of thing. Unfortunately, that shop doesn't exist anymore in Bristol. It's just how it goes when it comes to local shops, not just in Bristol, but all over the place and the world. Local shops tend to be quite fragile with their existence, so you have to have that sort of really good gimmick. But yeah, I was introduced to the Switch with this version. I absolutely love the Switch Lite. This is the one I take when I go away with my partner, when we go traveling in parts of the country, we're in the hotel, because this one has a much better battery life compared to the old school Switch. And the next model I'll talk about in a minute also has a better battery life. The screen in terms of display and brightness is much better on this one too. Same size screen as the original Switch, but in terms of vibrancy and color, this one has a much clearer display. And I just remember being very skeptical about the Nintendo Switch before I got this model. And when I was given this and I started playing some Switch games, I think the first game I bought was Super Mario Odyssey. And I just fell in love with it. And later that year, I got Zelda Breath of the Wild. A friend of mine gave me that through text message because I was going through some bad stuff. I won't go on about that. That's a different story for another time. Yeah, I just fell in love with this device, and I fell back in love with portable gaming because I kind of fell off the portable gaming train over those years. Like when I was younger, I had like a PSP, I had a DS, that sort of thing. I got a PSP again now, as you saw in my other video a few months ago. But after that, when I was playing like games on the Xbox 360, that sort of thing, I felt like I didn't have time for portable gaming, even though I was like places like college, sixth form, out and about all the time, like in places when I was waiting in the morning. I could have played something on my Game Boy Advance or my 3DS, but I just didn't want to do it. And when I got the Switch Lite, I fell back in love with portable gaming, and so much so when I moved here to Norwich, I've got more portable gaming devices. Well, I say more, I just got my PSP this year, which I play my portable devices more than I would my PlayStation 5, for instance, which I'm pointing to because it's there. Because it's just easier to grab one of these and just boot a game up, that sort of thing. But I'm going on a tangent here. This version of the Switch, if you're just looking for just pure portable Switch gaming, this is absolutely the perfect model to use because it's just purely portable. Battery life's great. They're really cheap too, Switch Lites. You can get them, if you don't go shopping around in CEX, you can get them below 100 quid, these. But also, as I've said at the start, be careful with the Joy-Cons because really hard to replace on these. It's not like you can just get like new Joy-Cons to switch into them. You have to completely replace them on these, and it's because they're built in. It's a bit of a pain. And the final model, which this is my partner's Switch, by the way, is the OLED. The OLED is a 7-inch screen, but judging by the title, as you can tell, it has an OLED display, which is absolutely beautiful to play on. This is the Zelda one that she's got. She's got the Zelda dock over there, as I look to my right. Yeah, it's just a beautiful version of the Switch. If you're looking for good battery life and you want to have both portable and on TV gaming, get the Switch OLED, because the battery life, as I said, is much better. It's on par, I would say, with the Switch Lite, and the display when playing certain games like playing Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey, the colors just really pop. And there's lots of really good special edition versions of this Switch. Like I've said, now this is the Tears of the Kingdom one that my partner got a couple of years ago now. God, a couple of years ago, Tears of the Kingdom came out. Just trying to show the Joy-Cons. Yeah, they're really nice Joy-Cons, and that's the cool thing about the Switch as well. If the camera will focus, it's probably not going to focus now that I'm showing you. You can get lots of customizable Joy-Cons, like the ones, my old ones are really cool, but unfortunately, they're just quite temperamental. She hasn't had any problems with these Joy-Cons yet, but time will tell. But yeah, this is probably like the best model to get if you just want like a proper Switch, as it were. And at some point, I want to get an OLED to replace the one I've got here. And people just say, why don't you just get a Switch 2? Because honestly, I don't want one, to put it plainly at the moment. I don't really want one. And to go on another tangent about Nintendo, I just feel a bit disappointed with Nintendo at the moment. This is something I'm going to get onto before I get into the games. I just feel disappointed with the Switch 2, the way they've kind of priced things, the way they've kind of acted towards the consumer. It's just ridiculous. And the console itself, not bad in terms of pricing, but the games are just way too expensive for what they are. They're way too expensive. And Mario Kart costing like 75 quid new. I'm sorry, it's just absurd. But that's a tangent for another time. Maybe towards the end of the video, I'll get more of a tangent on. But yeah, that's the different variants of hardware for the Switch. What we'll get into next is some game recommendations. As you can tell on the shelf, we've got quite the hefty physical collection there, but also a lot of the games we'll be talking about will be digital as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Right, some Switch game recommendations. Some of these are going to be quite obvious. I'm going to be doing a mixture of both first-party and third-party games. Yeah, I'm going to do the obvious ones first in terms of Switch recommendations, and the three I'm going to start with, I'm going to bundle these together because they're part of the same franchise. I'm going to start with Link's Awakening. This is a remake of the Game Boy / Game Boy Color game from back in the early 90s. This is a beautiful little remake here made by Grezzo, which they would use the same art style for their own Zelda game, Echoes of Wisdom, which is also good, which I highly recommend. Don't have it physically, I have it digitally on my Switch next to me. Yeah, it's just so good. It wasn't something I was expecting for them to go back to the 2D formula of Zelda, because it's been a long time since we've had a brand new 2D Zelda game. Because before this, I would say the last time we had a top-down Zelda was Link Between Worlds on the Nintendo 3DS, which I haven't played. I'm a huge Zelda fan, and I haven't played A Link Between Worlds. We do own it. My partner keeps going on at me to play it, but I really enjoyed this. It can be a bit cryptic at times because it's very much of that ilk of old Game Boy games where it doesn't tell you what to do, and it's like, yeah, we're going to encourage you to buy the physical game guide back in the 90s, whereas now you can just look it up on the internet. But it's great. I'm going to put these two together because they're very similar, and that's Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I would say these are essential Nintendo Switch games. If you're looking for like really good open world games, these two Zelda games are absolutely fantastic. Breath of the Wild especially, I fell in love with it when I played it immediately, when I was going through some really bad times back in 2021. My friend gave it to me. It's just so good. It was the step in the direction that the Zelda series needed in terms of like an adventure game. It needed to go in an open world formula, and I know there are people who don't like this open world formula. They prefer the old sort of linear traditional dungeon by dungeon layout of old Zelda games, myself included. I love Ocarina of Time, that sort of thing, but I see these games were the right direction to go because Skyward Sword was too linear, it was too hand-holdy, and I've replayed it again recently on the Switch version, and yeah, it's very linear and hand-holdy. It stops you every 5 minutes, and it's easily the weakest game in the franchise. It's not a bad game, but it's not the best either. But Tears of the Kingdom kind of evolved the formula of Breath of the Wild with the building mechanic, which is a lot of fun. And if you want to giggle, just go on TikTok or Instagram, kind of just type in like Tears of the Kingdom building. There's loads of weird and really funny building stuff that the community have done, and it's just so funny how creative the community has been with this game alone. It's fantastic. They are on Switch too, but you have to pay for those upgrades, which is stupid if you ask me. I know I'm being blunt there, but paying for graphical upgrades like that is silly, especially when you just plug it into your console. Anyway, Mario game, Super Mario Odyssey, came out the same year the Switch did. Later down the line, it came at the end of the year. It's a 3D Mario game. What else can I say? It's probably one of the best 3D Mario games, if not the best 3D Mario game. I know, I love Super Mario 64 too, but this went back to that formula, Super Mario 64, where you could do a level in a freeform way, and yeah, it's just more open and freeform compared to like Galaxy 1 and 2, which they weren't completely linear, but you couldn't just do like a star out of order like you could in Super Mario 64. The same goes for Sunshine, you couldn't really do things out of order, but Mario Odyssey went back to the N64 formula where you could just go into a level where you have a set objective, but it doesn't penalize you if you go off the beaten path and decide to, I don't know, go for a different moon. It actually encourages you to go and experiment with the different movements with Cappy. Cappy is the main gimmick and mechanic of this, where you can take control of other enemies, and it's great fun because seeing different enemies with Mario's moustache is really funny, especially a Goomba. It made me giggle the first time when you take control of the frog at the start of the game. That made me giggle very much, a frog with a moustache and Mario's hat. But it's more than just a gimmick. It adds a layer to the platforming, to the puzzle solving, to the challenges, where you have to use the different enemies to solve the various problems to unlock different moons in each level. And all the levels are different in terms of style, location, how you use the mechanics. It's all very good and amazing. I can't really think of any other words for this game. It's just fantastic, Mario Odyssey. And I could probably go on about it for another hour. Another first-party game, I played this last year. I played it all the way through straight, and that's Super Mario RPG, remake of the Super Nintendo game made in collaboration with Square Enix. I say Square Enix. They were Squaresoft back in the 90s, and Nintendo, where they made a Final Fantasy-style RPG. The original Super Mario RPG on Super Nintendo never got a UK release, so this was like the first time it got released in the UK legally. Of course, they did the SNES Mini version, but this remake's fantastic. It retains the tone and the overall sort of, I wouldn't say look, but the graphics are much better. But it retains the original's framework, and it's amazing. I was hooked on this game. It took me about, I think it took about 12, 15 hours to finish. I loved it all the way through. It's not often that I play games all the way through on my own, to be honest. Like, sometimes I'll jump into a game and it's got a lovely art style on the inside of the case, and I'll jump into a game and not play it for a while, but this one I just played it from start to finish. I think it took me about a week or so because I was playing like 2 to 3 hour bursts, and yeah, absolutely loved it. Couple of third party games here physically. This one I know might be a bit contentious, but it's really good, and if you really think about it, it didn't really run that well on the PS4, the Xbox One, to be honest. I'd say it's about comparable to those platforms in terms of it running, and that's Kingdom Come Deliverance. I was surprised that this got released on Switch, because if you know anything about the Switch, the hardware is not exactly the best. It's not even on par with the Xbox One or the PS4. But visually, this game looks pretty good on the Switch, as long as you play it in portable mode. That's the caveat with this. If you play it in portable mode, it looks great. If you play on the big screen, it's going to look a bit naff, to put it lightly. But frame rate wise, it stutters, but honestly, it stuttered on PS4 and Xbox One, and I think that's just how the engine works with the, I believe it uses CryEngine on here. Yeah, CryEngine, looked on the back. Saber Interactive ported this, and they also ported the Witcher 3 to the Switch. I don't know, I just felt it was just a really good port, this game, on Switch. I've got it on PlayStation 4 as well, as I look up there. Really solid RPG, not a forgiving RPG by any means. You will get your ass kicked if you're try and play it like Skyrim, because it's all about the sort of simulated life of being a medieval peasant / knight, and yeah, it's just very good. And final third-party game physically, Spyro. I just like playing Spyro on this platform. Spyro the Dragon is one of my favorite games of all time for the PS1. Absolutely love it, childhood memory of it. I've 100%ed this on 2 platforms, on the Xbox and the PlayStation 4, got the Platinum Trophy with the first one. and having it on Switch and portable is just fantastic. I absolutely love this game. It's just one of my favorite games of all time, and having him on one of my favorite portable consoles of all time is even better. It's just such a good game for its time, and still really good now. The remake of this is just absolutely amazing. It's visually better, the gameplay's better, but they've still retained like the overall framework of how the games work. They're more remasters as opposed to remakes, I suppose. But yeah, fantastic. There are other games too that I love on the platform, third party. Skyrim, I know Skyrim's been released on everything you could probably think of. It's kind of like Resident Evil 4 really, which I've also got on Switch. Skyrim looks really good on Switch, as it should, because it's an Xbox 360 and PS3 game. Put a fair amount of hours into it. Doom and Doom Eternal, also quite comparable ports. Again, they have these sort of, what's it called? The dynamic resolution, which sometimes it can look quite blurry, but again, if you're going to play like these third-party games, play them on portable only, because if you play on the big screen, you notice the compromises more. When you play them on portable only, the compromises are less apparent because you're playing on like a 5 or 7 inch screen in the case of the OLED. Dying Light is another good third-party port on Switch. Really good port on Switch. Comparable to the Xbox One version, I would say, visually. They have compromises like using fake depth of field, that sort of thing. Just fantastic. I'm trying to think what else now. That's about it really in terms of recommendations of games, but yeah. Thank you so much for watching my video about me nattering on about the Switch for like 20 minutes or so. Yeah, the Nintendo Switch, I really like the console still, despite what the Switch 2 has been doing recently. I feel it's kind of like tarnished the console a bit, the original Switch. But I'm not going to let that get in the way of my enjoyment of the original Switch, because it's just a great system. Thank you again for watching my video. Again, I've been really appreciative of all the support, all the comments you've been leaving, the likes and that sort of thing. I've been doing this since August now, nearly 100 subs. I know, 100 subscribers, woo, but a milestone is a milestone, isn't it? But yeah, thank you so much for your support, your comments. They've been amazing. I've been absolutely enjoying this, talking about my passion for video games, and I will be doing comic books at some point because I've got a lot to talk about. Looking to my right because there's a pile of comic books to me that I need to read. Anyway, you've all been amazing with the support. Your comments have been great, constructive. Some of them have been constructive. I won't go into that, but yeah. Thank you, like, subscribe, the usual stuff. My socials will be in the description below if you want to follow me on Instagram or TikTok, that sort of thing. And I will see you guys in the next one. See you later.